big live event coming up in a couple weeks. I was looking up some Fortnite content to watch, specifically some Fortnite storyline content, but what ended up getting, like, wiggled into my recommended over here was this video by Biphilus30, and I have never personally seen this channel, everything we know about Chapter 7 of Fortnite. You know what? I thought, as a first-time viewer of this channel, why not react to the video together? We haven't talked about what's coming in Chapter 7. I am excited to talk about what's coming in Chapter 7. Today we're going to be reacting to this video, guys. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Please go show the creator of this video some love in the pinned comment description down below. Let's get started.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as fun as this Fortnite and Simpsons season has been, Chapter 7 is right around the corner, and we already have a ton of information about what's to come when it actually kicks off. So
now, of course, I am always bound to get those comments. Why are you talking about why are you talking about this if you hate leaks so much? They're out there. I'm going to look at them. What can you do? I'm still excited for Chapter 7 regardless.
As I'm sure you could guess by the title and the thumbnail today, that is exactly what we're going to be talking about. And we're going to get right into it. You guys know I don't like to waste any time. Just really quick, as always, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Drop a sub if you're new. It doesn't cost...
Now, guys, of course, go show the channel some love in the pinned comment description down below. I'm excited to watch this video. I'm always looking for new content, new channels to watch.
She was sent, but it does go a long way in helping a fellow bro live out his dream. But enough yapping. Let's talk about Chapter...
What? Internet!
7 while this background gameplay rolls. So let's go ahead and start at the beginning where everything is actually going to kick off, and that is the end of chapter live event. The live event, which Fortnite is calling 0 Hour, starts on November 29th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
Now, I'm interested in just 0 Hour in general, because I'm excited to see the Dark Presence. I'm excited to see where this goes, especially with all the news about the 7 coming back and that type of stuff. That's why I was initially looking up some Fortnite storyline videos to watch. Something titled 0 Hour is making me think the old characters are coming back a little bit. The 7 are coming back. I know we have confirmation that the 7 are returning, but like, they're going back to all the 0 stuff, which is fun.
They say, and I quote, "A new story begins, Chapter 7, After Dark." Remember the...
Now, I'm interested in, like, if it's actually going to be a little bit of a reboot to the story. I don't really know. We're going to talk a little bit more about it with videos to come.
The event is essentially going to serve as a part 2 to the event that kicked off the Fortnite Simpsons season, and it is going to tie directly into the Fortnite storyline, which we'll talk more about here in a little bit. But really quickly, a couple things about the live event to keep in mind. Number 1, try to be in Fortnite, loaded in the lobby at least half an hour, if not an hour ahead of time. So if the event starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which it does, you're going to want to be in Fortnite by at least 1:30, if not 1 p.m. Eastern Time, to avoid any potential queue times.
And I've heard people even say hours before. It seems like it's a different level every single time, but then again, the last couple events, if I'm not mistaken, the leakers and Epic Games themselves haven't even said to like log on early, but maybe I just missed that. Regardless, of course, if you're watching a live event, load in early. Avoid those potential issues, even though there's probably going to be server issues at some point.
I would recommend trying to queue up for the event from the lobby at least 10 or 15 minutes ahead of time. And then immediately following the live event, which by the way, an Epic developer has already said is, and I quote, "one of the craziest things he's ever seen in his life." We will go straight into downtime, presumably for 4, 5, 6 hours, whatever it may be. And then Chapter 7, assuming all things go as planned, will kick off later that Saturday evening. Now, as far as what we can expect in Chapter 7, the first thing I want to cover briefly is Epic has already confirmed 100-player Battle Royale lobbies are going to return. They said
oh, yeah. I don't know how I feel about that because I'm still mostly playing Fortnite Reload, and it's small lobbies either way. At this point, I haven't played enough Simpsons because even at the time recording this video, I'm playing Fortnite after I'm done recording and editing these videos. I'm playing the LTMs going on in Fortnite Reload, so I don't even know how I feel about it. I'm not even interested in Battle Royale that much until they fix the bot problem. Let me know what you guys think about that. Would you prefer 80 players, 100 players? I'm not sure.
Straight up, and I quote, "We plan to return to 100 players next season, but we wanted to see what happens when we concentrate the action." Obviously, in reference to the fact that for this season, with the Simpsons map, they condensed the Battle Royale lobbies down to 80 players per match. Next season, or next chapter rather, we will be going back to the standard 100-player Battle Royale lobbies.
And it means a bigger map as well. The Simpsons season is obviously on a smaller map.
Moving on to the map. Obviously, we don't have any tangible looks at the map yet, but according to reliable leakers, the map is essentially going to be set in America, with things like the Hollywood sign, a big city, an Area 51 inspired location.
I forgot about that, dude. You know what they need to bring back to the story too is that Area 51, all the Area 51 cosmetics that they had when they were releasing, like when all of that stuff was going down. I thought that was pretty fun. It's interesting. We'd have to wait and see how it ends up being. I know that supposedly it's a gala theme as well.
Even a casino, which will maybe even be in a Las Vegas inspired POI. That is essentially everything that we know about the map right now, but while we're on the topic of casinos, we are also going to be getting a new gambler shotgun. Now we don't know exactly how it's going to work, but I'm sure we can kind of speculate a little bit just off of the name.
I didn't know that that was coming. That's not a leak I've seen. Gambler shotgun? You know what? Just from the name, it sounds like something I would use, to be honest.
Maybe it'll deal kind of like a randomly generated amount of damage regardless of how many pellets you hit.
I would love that, dude. Could you imagine like a 200, like, I don't know, I'm just spitballing over here, like a 10% chance of a 200 pump to the head, and then you do like 1 damage sometimes too? That'd be hilarious. I would use that all the time.
Carrying it in your inventory and ultimately using it in a fight would be considered kind of a, gamble. But who knows for sure? We'll have to wait and see on that. Moving on, another feature of Chapter 7 that is essentially confirmed by reliable leakers is drivable reboot vans. Yes, in Chapter 7, reboot vans will be able to be driven around the map. And I'm sure we can already all imagine the scenes. You and a couple members of your squad are trying to stick a revive on your 4th who died off spawn. Just as you're about to get it off, some random solo emerges from a bush from somewhere, hops in the reboot van and drives away.
That's the type of goofiness in Fortnite that I love. And I can only imagine the YouTube videos where it's like, we gathered every single reboot van and put it in the center of the circle. Or we took every reboot van out of Fortnite and just drove them like all the way into the ocean. I love this change. I hope they don't revert it. I could see people getting insanely pissed off about this, but that's the kind of goofiness that we need in this video game.
Just leaving you all absolutely dumbfounded. Maybe not, though. Maybe the vans won't be drivable while somebody's actively using it to reboot.
Dude, it better not, man. It better not. I want to drive away. That's the goofiness we need in this game.
To wait and see. On the topic of reboots, though, another feature coming in Chapter 7 is self-revives. Now, how exactly this will work, we do not know yet. Will it be available in solo modes? Again, we don't know. But
I'm guessing it has to do with gold. Maybe you can buy something where it's like, okay, once you get eliminated, you come back after a certain amount of time. That's my guess.
According to leakers, the self-revive system will be somewhat similar to that in Warzone and Apex, where for a player to self-revive, it requires some sort of token. That is essentially everything we know about it. I want to know your guys' thoughts, though. Is that going to feel a little bit redundant to reload? Moving on, though.
Yeah, probably. It depends how, like, easily accessible it is. It'd be nice if it was like a few per game.
Feature that seems to be staying in Chapter 7 that originated in Chapter 6 is boons. Obviously, boons were a relatively core part of Chapter 6, but according to reliable leakers, there are a couple new boons being worked on, one of them being titled Feather Falling.
I'm good. Get rid of the boons, give me the augments back. But I know most people disagree with me when I say that.
And also in the works is a feature for NPCs to sell boons. So in all likelihood, it does seem like they are staying in Chapter 7. Which for some players, unfortunately means that augments are probably not coming back, at least not in Chapter 7.
Bring them back and reload. That would make reload so much more fun, man. It could, like, on any spin on the gameplay that you can do. I loved augments so much, but I feel like I'm alone in that sometimes.
And maybe they are. It's not confirmed that they are or aren't coming back. It's just hard to imagine them coexisting with boons. One feature that seems to not be returning in Chapter 7, however, is medallions. Number one, from what I've seen, there have been no reliable leaks about any sort of new medallions coming to the game in this upcoming chapter. And number two, I think it's pretty clear that medallions have run their course in Fortnite, at least for the time being.
I was never too big on medallions, but it's also because, like, I think augments was such a great system that I don't like any of the replacements. It's just, the problem is, the medallions aren't unique enough, and then when they do make cool medallions that are really unique, people are like, oh my god, that's too powerful. I always die to a guy with a medallion. It just... It could never work with Epic Games.
When they first got added in Chapter 5, I think they were majority loved by the community. A couple chapters later, though, I think it's pretty clear the community is tired of them. They feel like medallions have made the style of the game feel, kind of stale. In the sense that medallions had kind of become the key to winning pretty much every game. And in turn, also kind of made the POIs on the map that weren't carrying a medallion pretty dead. And number three...
But I do like what they did change, like, with the medallions, where it's like, okay, this person carrying the medallion or this boss carrying the medallion can spawn at any point and throughout the game. I like that change a lot. I thought that was good for medallions.
It's no coincidence that when Fortnite got really serious about reviving the game from its all-time low player counts just a couple of months ago...
the game was completely dead. 100% the game was dead. The game's fallen off.
took out Medallions and did not bring them back. They took them out right in the middle of the last regular season of Chapter 6 and of course did not bring them back for the Simpsons season. Epic Games no doubt took note of what they did to kind of revive the player count on Fortnite, and they are well aware that Medallions were not a part of it. In fact, removing them was likely a part of it. Let's keep it moving though. One feature of Fortnite that does seem to be returning in Chapter 7 is the Fortnite storyline. And to be clear, what appears to be a well attended to version of it.
Yeah. Again, we've spoke about this on the channel before. I like the storyline in Chapter 6. It's still not interesting enough to make me go like, this is incredible. And I still receive comments saying I'm not paying enough attention to it. If there's things that I'm missing, guys, I've paid attention enough, and it's still not like really making me go, ooh, this is awesome. We'll have to see how the Dark Presence comes around. But I am excited to have somebody like the 7 coming back. I know that people are getting tired of the 0 Point storyline, and now people might be switching up on that just because like they've been gone for so long, but that's the reality of a lot of people. I always like the 7 in the story and the 0 Point storyline, so hopefully we get that intertwined with what we have going on now.
Obviously, the storyline has been a big part of Fortnite for a long time now. However, a few chapters ago, most of the player base stopped paying attention to it when things got a little too confusing, and Epic stopped really paying it the attention that it needed. It seems like Epic is looking to change that, however, going into Chapter 7, as the live event to kick off the Fortnite Simpsons season was directly related to the Fortnite storyline. Unlike the previous live event to kick off a November mini-season, which was just a low-quality live stream of an Ice Spice concert that was taking place in New York that was completely and totally unrelated to anything Fortnite storyline. And
that was by far the worst event in my opinion. Give me Fracture 10 times over. I couldn't believe what I was watching, dude. Nothing against the people who enjoyed it, just like, not for me for a Fortnite live event, man. I was like, really?
again, because the most recent live event was also tied into the Fortnite storyline, it also means the upcoming end of chapter live event that will kick off Chapter 7 is also tied to the Fortnite storyline, being that it is essentially a part 2. Other evidence that the Fortnite storyline is actually going to be making a relevant return is that Vice President and co-founder of Epic Games, Mark Rain, responded to a tweet on Twitter that says, "Mark, the story means so much to millions of players. Please keep giving it love." And
it seems like they're pretty confident what they're cooking up with the 7. I just don't trust them to not be like, "Hey guys, the Foundation's here." All right, I'm the Foundation, and I'm retiring. Hope, I'm leaving it up to you now. The fight is yours. Go forth, Hope. I don't trust them not to do that yet.
Mark responded with 3 exclamation points. Will do. A few days later, Mark Rain also essentially confirmed that the 7, which was a core group of characters to the storyline a few years back, are also going to be making a return in Chapter 7. So you guys will have—
And I want to know how Donald Mustard feels about that. I know that people always talk about like Donald Mustard and the importance of his story and like how much he cares for the story. I want to know if he's like happy to see the 7 return, or if he feels like they're just gonna like ruin their reputation, or if he would rather tell the story himself. I don't know.
To let me know, what are your thoughts on the Fortnite storyline making a return? Personally, I think it's pretty cool. I'm glad that they're putting in the effort. However, I don't know if I'm going to be able to follow it. Obviously, it's kind of a continuation of the original storyline, and after all these years, it might just be a little bit too much for me personally to follow. That's just me.
Now, I think if you're somebody who likes to play Fortnite, it only enhances your experience if you're following the storyline, especially like if they end up reviving some sort of the old story.
Me though, I'm 21. I'm kind of an unk. So you guys let me know. Are you going to get reinvested in?
Guys, I'm going to be 28 soon, man.
The most important thing to note, though, in my opinion, about the storyline coming back is that Fortnite always seems to be peak when the storyline is active. Moving on, one of the last things we'll kind of touch on is the confirmed collabs coming in Chapter 7. Most of these are safe to assume will be coming in the first season, maybe 2 of Chapter 7. So
these ones I wouldn't trust that much, guys. You remember all the talk about Demon Slayer over and over and over again? That's the only one that's coming to mind, but I know there's been things that have been leaked to come and then they never came throughout Chapter 6.
Fortnite has fully confirmed collabs coming up with Kill Bill, South Park, SpongeBob, Harry Potter, and Ninjago. With the
those are all phenomenal collabs. And for those of you who are going to have a freak out about Harry Potter, don't contribute what I just said to anything other than good movie, fun collab. I don't want to hear it, okay? Because there's going to be one of you in those comments.
The exception of Kill Bill, because I don't really know much about it. All of those actually sound super cool to me, so you guys will have to let me know your thoughts on that. And the last thing we'll touch on in this video is kind of the givens for the early stages of Chapter 7, the first of which being OG Season 7, which in my opinion has a very strong case as the greatest Fortnite season of all time.
I have just lost faith in OG, to be honest, for the time being. But I know they've been picking it up a little bit. I hope the bot problem isn't ridiculous and the greatest season of all time. That's what everybody says about Season 7. They hated it back in the day. Of course, I don't know this person, but the vast majority of the Fortnite community is always talking about Chapter 1, Season 7 like it's the greatest season ever, when they were, if you guys thought the Fortnite community was like bitching and moaning now about the game, you should have been there for Chapter 1, Season 7. Holy.
I won't say it's definitive because I'm not sure, but it's definitely up there, at least for me. That is coming on December 11th. So Epic is going to give us essentially 11-ish days to play the new chapter before we're at all tempted to kind of go relive those glory days. And then following the launch of that, we'll of course have the annual Winterfest event, which will probably go live sometime in mid to late December. That
I'm excited for because they've been really doing well with things like Fortnitemares lately, and I would love a reload map for winter theme too.
It's a little bit different every year, and if I remember right, I think Epic staff goes on a sort of vacation during that time, so Fortnite will kind of be in an idle mode with preset content coming out, but nothing overall.
Oh no, yeah. Just like the summer break, Epic's gonna take their winter break. Does anyone just feel like Fortnite's not the same? Guys, look at these player numbers! Nobody's playing Fortnite on Christmas. The game's dead.
Happening. And again, the Winterfest looks different pretty much every year. One thing we likely can count on though is the free cosmetics under the tree that we're all pretty used to by now. That is pretty much everything we know about Chapter 7 so far though. Of course, you guys will have to let me know what you think personally.
Dude, I thought it was a good video, man. It's another Fortnite commentary channel. I'm always looking for more Fortnite content to watch. If you guys don't know, I'm somebody who has YouTube on all the time throughout the day, the work day. If I'm doing something around the house, I am always listening to YouTube. Guys, please go show the creators some love in the pinned comment description down below. If you guys want to hear another reaction video, check out this video on screen right here. I'd love to have you over there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, guys.